Taking mid on Anubis is very important. It is very similar to Mirage in the sense that when you don't have mid control, when you're taking a site, the rotates just flood in constantly, and maybe you smoke camera, smoke heaven, there's only one A player, but by the time you're actually getting onto the site, now you're fighting 3, maybe even 4 people. And then same thing for B, they're rotating through temple a lot quicker because you're not slowing them down. Whereas if you have mid control, now they can't just freely rotate to either site and have to focus on clearing out mid first. So it just has a lot of merit and importance on a map like Anubis. The most simplistic and probably important way to take mid is with a house smoke and door molly, as this pressures and pushes that CT off of bridge, and their most common fallback is then into camera or into exit, because there's not a lot of positions to play in between, like maybe here, but they're pretty risky. So most teams will play positions like so, which again can then be easily smoked off or mollied off. And it just makes it like if you pressure them off of bridge, then that means you pretty much have all of mid and just need to smoke or molly one off when splitting or taking a site. So it's very easy and very important. 3 different house smokes, starting with the quickest one is the one from spawn. You're going to aim in this corner and jump throw. This can be useful in 2 situations. The first is when you're actually taking bridge quickly, for obvious reasons. And the second reason is to bait off Utah. Maybe you're playing against a team that just doesn't molly mid until you smoke house. And so you start smoking house so that they molly mid, maybe throw some other pressure nades mid, and then you can re-smoke house like so. You're going to go into the corner of the sign. It looks like a slanted edge, but it's actually a corner if you just like run into it. And you're going to aim at the top left of the square and middle click jump throw. This is a good mid-round smoke because it lands deeper towards house, which just kind of lets you clear one extra angle. Whereas the previous house smoke, you know, obviously they could be in the smoke. So as it's fading or even as you're nading it, you have to be careful of that position. And it's not as easy to phase through because you're phasing through a smoke. It would even be more smoked off than this. And also hoping that there's not a CT doing the same thing. And then when it phases that you're not exposed to position like so. So just having a deeper smoke gives you a little bit more self-confidence and comfort when you're in positions like this where you can clear it and then also kind of lurk how you want. But that's also preference. So if you don't like that deeper smoke, then just aim in the middle of the square and middle click jump throw. And it'll bounce off this and land more normally than the steeper one. But both are definitely very useful. Then you can go into this corner of the bench. It's not like a specific corner. I'm just touching the bench. And I'm aiming the middle of that and just left click throw. That will molly off the right side. You can also molly it from here. Believe it's aiming at just the tip of that brick, and then you let go when you touch that corner. That is useful because some teams will smoke off bridge like kind of deep like that, and you can't see. Like you can usually still wing, and it should work. But because this is a curved edge is what you're bouncing off, if you aim like a little bit too high or a little bit too low, it's gonna miss. And it's nice having both utility lineups from the same position, but again, this is obviously preference and requires you to practice the nades to make sure that you can hit them. The next smoke and molly lineups is off of this second pillar. You're just gonna run, throw a smoke. It's definitely scrimmy, but with CS2 smokes, they give a lot, so it spreads and works. You can also molly doors from outside rugs by standing in this corner, aiming at the corner tip of there, and you're gonna run and jump through right when you're touching that corner. This molly does land more so to prevent the opera on this angle, but does allow CTs to play here. It differs from the previous molly, where this molly doesn't allow the CTs to play deep, but does allow a potential opera on this angle. So just keep in mind that maybe you pair them both together. Maybe you throw this one first, so the opera's not on the angle. And then once your rifler comes here, clear this out, then he can throw his own and then finish taking the control. Or you can just throw a high flash and just take the fights on the angle steep. Kind of up to what you want to do and what you're communicating with your team. And then the last molly is a quick door molly from outside ruins here. You're going to run in line with this shadow and you're going to aim at the edge of this. It's just an elevated brick, but it looks kind of like a stain or a shadow from this far. So you're going to aim just the left tip of it here while running in line with this, and then you're gonna let go. That was a little weird little move there. You're gonna let go right after you touch this shadow line. So not before, but just like so. And I'll show it more in quicker motion. So I guess to prevent that little jump from happening, just run along the left side, but in line with it. Aim here, right past the shadow, jump throw. I am pulling my mouse down as I'm running to make sure that I'm still aiming at it, like so. And then again, right after that line, then I run jump throw. So it's definitely complicated, or more complicated than the other lineups that I showed, but it's definitely useful. Because now you can just keep going mid, especially if someone throws the house smoke for you. Now I just took mid within like 10 seconds of the round, and that's like super powerful. So complicated, but definitely worth it. So again, just to reiterate, I showed 3 different house lineups, technically like 4 if you count the double lineups here. And then I showed 3 different door molly, the default one, the quick one, and the one thrown from outside rugs. The very last nade set I'll show you is how to get further mid control. And this is like the icing on the cake sort of util, because it is very impactful. Every single piece has a ton of impact. It's not like we're just throwing util lazily. And then after you throw it, it's so much easier to split a sight. So go in this corner of the rug, aim at the corner of the brick where it meets the wall right here. So not here, but where it meets the wall. Then you're gonna molly camera. I just literally this is the camera wall. I'm just aiming above it. And if I aim here, it's always going to bounce off that. And if I aim here, it's not going to go in that little doorway there. So I don't have a lineup. I just line it up real quickly and then run throw. And then last is the God Flash. You're going to aim in the corner of here. You're going to find these 2 dots next to each other. I know there's 1,000 dots here, so maybe there's a better lineup. Like you follow the edge of this to the right, and there's 1, 2, and you aim at the 3rd that's like pretty faint in the distance, and then jump throw. So just to reiterate what the flash and molly was, or smoke and molly was, the smoke landed here for exit. The molly landed here for camera. So again, like I said, once you throw this smoke and this molly, the only positions they can play pretty much don't have a lot of cover. Where now the flash is the reason why it's called the God Flash, is because it flashes every angle that could be peeking doors, but doesn't flash your teammates before they peek with it. You can see it lands behind the door. So that means this guy is white, this guy is white, this camera guy is white, this guy playing through the exit smoke is white. So now you've taken complete bridge, now taking complete mid, and have it the entirety of the control. It's very easy to A split with this. All you need to do is throw flashes over camera, so when your teammates come out, they can face angles knowing that anyone look at them as blind. And then you can throw like a heaven smoke. You could still throw a headshot or half wall molly if you wanted, and then take the site. Or you could even like fake mid and split B, like pressure E box with your other remaining players, and these mid guys can then try flanking into temple and kind of pressuring rotates. Or you could have like one guy trying to pressure temple, the rest of your mates fall back and do like a B main E box like 2-2 split, and this last guy is just alert that can catch off rotates and then also flank the guys looking at you. There's a lot of things you can do with this, and I definitely went over a lot, so let me know what you guys think about this video. It's definitely kind of a rant, but I'm trying to explain as I go along. And long story short, this util is the most important for T-side Anubis. And then once you do that, that chef's kiss sort of util allows just complete mid control. And you can just dominate Anubis with this util. So thanks for watching.